It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? I appreciate you guys being here. Today is Wednesday, March 19th, and I hope that you are having an amazing week. And I hope that you are gearing up for March Madness. I hope that you already have your bracket filled out. Alabama taking on Robert Morris on Friday. We lead off with a little March Madness magic, if you will. Last night, Alabama State, St. Francis, playoff play-in game. You guys see this? 1.8 seconds left. Young man way here on the left throws literally a Hail Mary down to the other side of the court. They're able to put it back with like 0.2 of a second left. Alabama State now will take on Auburn. The crazy thing is Ryan Williams predicted that Alabama State would beat Auburn before he even knew that Alabama State would beat St. Francis. Did you see that? There was like one of the craziest endings that we've had, right? It kind of, you go back to like Christian Laettner type stuff. It was that. I get it. These are playoff play-in type teams, but still, it was crazy. Who saw it? If you were jumping up and down the screen, you got to see something special. So Alabama in action this Friday. I can't wait to see it, right? Antoine, what's up, man? I appreciate you checking in. Jarvis says March Madness is here. Max Tooney, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much to everybody up in the undefeated Crescent, New Jersey, always up in here in the morning time. Yeah, can't wait to see it. I think when I start, and I'm going to talk about Alabama basketball today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the baseball team. The baseball team, by the way, is 21-1 following a clean sweep over Texas A&M, and they won last night on a walk-off home run, all right? The baseball team, after they flipped the world off, this team has just been they just been on fire. So 21-1. You have Alabama's Pro Day. It's taking place right now in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You have over 10 players that will be showcasing their abilities here in Tuscaloosa today. And I'll talk about the mock draft as well. I'm curious to see how many guys go in the first round to the NFL from Alabama. It's starting to look like one, maybe two. And then we'll also talk about Ryan Williams in the slot. Okay. I think it's deadly. I've been saying this even before Coach Kalen DeBoer said that he was, going to be moved around and utilized a different way. It just made total sense to me. I'm like, Isaiah Horton, 6'4", he comes in. Jerry Bernard, he's not going to play slot. Ryan Williams is going to play slot, period. So we'll talk about that, all this and more today on the show. But little March Madness to get you going. I love at the end of March Madness one shining moment. Always been a fan. Alabama baseball now 21-1 on the season. They were down 3-0 with one out in the bottom of the 10th. Kate Snell blasted a walk-off solo home run to left field fence, pushing number 12. Alabama baseball passed Southern Alabama 6-5 on Tuesday night at Old Thomas Stadium. The win improves the Crimson Tide to 21-1 on the season. Yo, if you haven't tuned in to check the baseball team, Alabama athletics absolutely on fire. Baseball team's crushing it. Basketball team getting ready to do their thing, right? People excited about Alabama's women's basketball, softball, football. What a time, right? Greg Byrne must be absolutely thrilled. Look at this. They just swept Texas A&M 6-4, 6-2, 2-0. By the way, Texas A&M was ranked number 19, okay? As we look at our continuation of Justin LeBron, probably the best baseball player in the entire country. Check this out. He has an average of 360. He's circled up here at the top left. 12 home runs, 45 RBIs, a slugging percentage of 872. Oh, my goodness. What a season. Oh, my God. This guy. They say legends are made here. The guy's like a living legend already for the baseball team. Mark Sears, speaking of more legends, this is what I'm talking about. We moved from the number 12 baseball team in the country to the number 2 seeded Alabama Crimson Tide, led by an AP All-American in Mark Sears. Man, like, these are major news items. Good time to be covering the Crimson Tide. I know, it's football channel, but damn. Mark Sears getting the AP All-American. Man, I really hope and pray that this team is able to put it together starting now. I think the key storyline going in is the health of Grant Nelson. If he's going to be able to be healthy, maybe by Sunday. I don't think that there's a reason to play him Friday night. No need to rush if somebody's not 100, because you have a depth chart that should be able to beat Robert Morris. Now, I get it. Tournament time is crazy. 15 seeds do beat 2 seeds. Things like that happen. It's March Madness. But I think this roster is capable to step up first round, get some momentum, take it on to either play, St. Mary's or Vanderbilt, and take it from there. One game at a time. Oh, no, Patriot Life, you down? Oh, man, that's too bad. Sorry about that, bro. On your birthday week, too. Jarvis points out we don't need Grant Nelson versus Robert Morris. Yeah, 100%. I think the roster is deep enough to be able to string together a solid game, get some momentum going into the Sunday matchup. Man, Rich B in here is saying that LeBron's going to be projected to be the number 3 draft pick. That's absolutely bananas. That kid is great. Antoine has April 8th. I'm in town for the baseball game versus Southern Miss. That's what's up, man. Enjoy your time in T-Town. The weather should be prime by then. The weather's actually really good today. All right, we're going to talk about the NFL Combine here in just a minute. Will Knight points out that Milroe stunk it up at the NFL Combine along with his awful performance at the Senior Bowl. I wouldn't expect anything different today. I would imagine, these guys at the NFL Pro Day just throw on air. He'll probably throw to maybe some wide receivers will step up. I would imagine that Ryan Williams, I don't know this for sure. It would make sense to me. Ryan Williams is there. He'd probably go out there and catch passes. I mean, he's a high-profile player. He's probably the most famous player right now, or the most famous person in Alabama. I'm serious. He'd probably go out there and catch passes for Milroe. I don't know if Milroe is going to run the 40 times a day. You could watch it here on the SEC Network when it starts getting going. I'm going to watch it as well. But if you want to tune in, during my show, after the show, all good. Check it out. SEC Network. We'll be covering Alabama's Pro Day. I've been to the Pro Day several times here in Tuscaloosa. You go, and the way that they have the reporters, you can't really see anything. Everyone's all jumbled up. You can see it better on TV. So major news happens from the Pro Day, which I don't really anticipate anything to happen. We'll see what happens. We'll report on it. Alabama, as you know, getting ready to take on Robert Morris. The University of Alabama men's basketball team earned the number 2 seed in the 2025 NCAA men's basketball tournament. Will face number 15 seeded Robert Morris, where they're a 22-point favorite going into this game. Jarvis, check the line. I think that's still the line on this week's game. I don't know if they win by 22 points. I don't know if they score 100 points. I don't know. All we're looking for is a win. Just win. Just win, baby, at this point in time. You don't need any more style points. You don't get anything from being a number 1 seed, from being a number 2 seed, other than more pressure to go further in the tournament. But other than that, people were like, they have a chance to be a number 1 seed. You don't get anything from being a number 1 team at all. Nothing. All right, here's the bracket. Alabama will play the winner of St. Mary's and Vanderbilt. All right, graphic courtesy of the University of Alabama. You have several players competing in Pro Day. You have Tyler Booker up here, James Burnup, Jahad Campbell, C.J. Dupree, Jalen Milroe, Grant Nicholson, Tim Smith, Q-Rob, Robbie Oots, Malachi Moore, Neelan Hibbett. I don't know, all the particulars on what the players will be doing. Of course, SEC Network will have it on. Some of these guys might not be 100% like Malachi Moore. I don't know if he's 100% by now. Jarvis says the line's up to 23.5 for Alabama against Robert Morris. But the thing is, look, it all centers around the big three, okay? I think when you look to – I thought I had a graphic in here. I'll just go ahead and go from the top. But it all centers around Tyler Booker, Jahad Campbell, and Jalen Milroe. The player that is certainly going to go in the first round is going to be Jahad Campbell. What he was able to display on the field is going to translate into the NFL. The pro day that he had was fantastic. All of his numbers were through the roof. He's long, he's rangy, he's an outside linebacker. He is going to absolutely flourish in the NFL. I think Daniel Jeremiah has him going in the top 10. Mel Kiper has him like top 15. You know who's kind of slid has been Tyler Booker, Alabama's guard from last season, who, you know, was basically the spokesman for Alabama football. Really talented, good-natured person, but he's kind of been slipping in the NFL draft. I've seen him kind of in the first round, but kind of on the back end. I don't know. And then with Jalen Milroe, look, I totally think that Jalen Milroe, this is my opinion. I know sometimes people get upset on things that we say if they're negative. Remember, I'm not associated with the University of Alabama. I'm going to tell you when things are ugly. I'm going to tell you when things are great. That means I'm telling you the truth, okay? Jalen Milroe has 1,000,000% been mismanaged by whoever's leading him following his departure from Alabama. And I'll tell you why. He totally regressed on the back end of the season. The way to clean that up was to basically go silent and have him only perform at the NFL Combine, okay? Him going to the Reese Senior Bowl was a terrible decision. Absolutely terrible. He continued to regress in terms of his overall brand, right? He should have just went to the NFL Combine. And the biggest thing, too, is he should have ran the 40 time. I don't know why. Maybe he'll run it today. I hope he does. But he should have done it on a national stage, on national TV. He should have been like, look, I have a lot of things that I need to improve on, but this is the one thing that you cannot touch, and that's my speed. I'm going to work on my craft. I might not be an immediate starter in the NFL, but I got speed, okay? And I got more speed than Jackson Dart. I got more speed than Cam Ward. I got more speed than Shador Sanders. I am the man, right? Totally mismanaged. So now you come over here to the Alabama Pro Day, and there'll be, you know, a ton of private planes. There'll be coaches here. In fact, he had dinner, according to X, last night with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It seems like the Pittsburgh Steelers are really interested in picking up Milroe. I hope things work out for him, but in terms of like how it's been managed for him, it's been totally mismanaged, 100%. And that's going to be the thing. Before we get to this, so Matt says inside the comment box, he should have came back to college on the sidelines, was literally joking. I think that you wonder if he should have transferred. I don't know if he should have transferred. I think the NFL quarterback class isn't as talented as I thought it was going to be. So, going to the NFL, somebody will pick him up. But, we'll see how he does. Yesterday, I have a couple different videos that I published yesterday. One was talking about Coach Kalen DeBoer and the takeaways from his press conference. I have it uploaded to the channel courtesy of the University of Alabama. This is also footage from Alabama. There was a couple things that stood out to me. My main segment today is going to be talking about Ryan Williams and how he's going to be utilized, or how I think he could be utilized in the slot. And I think Alabama's offense is about to be as deadly as any other team in the country in terms of their offensive production because of Ryan Grubb, because of Ryan Williams that's coming back, because of the addition of Isaiah Horton. I'm going to build my facts, and I hope you guys enjoy it. That's coming up here in just a minute. Because, look, you figure out your offensive line and you figure out the quarterback, I think the offense is going to be probably the best offense that Alabama has had since 2020. I was putting together some facts. Alabama hasn't had a running game that has eclipsed 1,000 yards since 2021. That needs to change. Now, Coach Kalen DeBoer highlighted a couple different running backs yesterday. And one that he pointed out, and I was glad to hear it, was Kevin Riley, saying that he's got, that shifty burst. Number 4 right here is Daniel Hill. You have an arsenal of weapons at the running back position. How you utilize those guys, I don't know. I kind of think it'll be a 1-2 punch with Jan Miller and Richard Young. We had some callers yesterday talking about that as well. I'm curious to say if it plays out like that. I'm curious to see if a running back does transfer out just because it is such a full room. Number 28 right here, that is Kevin Riley, ultra talented. And then you have Austin Mack. Look, I talked to some people that were at practice yesterday, okay? A lot of people were allowed to see practice yesterday. I talked to some people close to the program. People were at practice yesterday. I know the media wasn't allowed, but, I live in Tuscaloosa. I've lived here for 10 years. I know people, okay? People were quick to point out Austin Mack, okay? People were quick to point out that they think that it's going to be Ty Simpson who starts, but they were just ultra impressed from the jump with Keelan Russell. So, again, it goes back to the thing that we know this quarterback competition is going to be, just what I said, a quarterback competition. See what Christian has to say inside the comment box. Take a pause right here in the video. Christian says, Kyle, if you want to see how creative Ryan Grubb's play calling is and his ability to make adjustments, go back and watch both Washington and Oregon games as well as the national championship game. Christian, you're good people, bro. I have something planned for you that is exactly that in just a few minutes. But you're right, man. I mean, I was watching that game this morning. Okay, I was watching the first matchup between Washington and Oregon, and the way that Washington was able to utilize their wide receivers, it stood out to me. Right. I guess I could hear the audio. Sounds like do I sound like Mufasa? I like that. All right. So let me get to it. Oh, man. Let me run through these defensive highlights real quick. So there was a couple things that stood out to me from the clips yesterday. And if you watch my video that I put together last night talking about the highlights, this man right here, write his name down, okay? This is Ivan Taylor. Ivan Taylor, I have no idea when this young man will play here at the University of Alabama. Look how fluid this guy is. The fluidity of some of these freshmen that I've seen, that stands out to me. That is a sign of athleticism. I'm an athlete, okay? I know I can tell you another athlete when I see one. I have respect for this level of play. I could tell that these guys are twitchy, that these guys have a different gear. You can see it. Let me play the clip. Look, if you haven't been around sports, you're a casual fan, what I'm about to show you, just you seeing this, you'll know what I'm talking about. Look how he chops his feet. Chop, 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 chop. Bam. That's all you need to see right there. That's all you need to see from Ivan Taylor. So along with Dejon Lee, along with Lazier Brooks, along with Keelan Russell, along with Jackson Lloyd, we're starting to see even more freshmen that are impressive to us, right? Here are the DBs working with Mo Lindquist, who I love. By the way, that's Red Morgan, number 16 right there, battling for that Wolf position. Number 5 right there, that's your boy Dejon Lee, another freshman, right? Yeah, and Jarvis points out inside the comment box that Ike Taylor, his father, wasn't too bad, right? Apple don't far from the tree, right? Ike Taylor played Dolphins, I believe, in the NFL. So you have, good people there. Cam Calhoun, another transfer that's here, right? Number 2, Xavier Brown played every single game at the hardest position in all of football. Right here, number 36. This is QB Reese. He's moving nice, to be honest. This is second year at the capstone. Abdul Sanders. Let me just point out, okay, something. You see all these people, when you're like, oh, no one can see practice. They're reporters and something. Look at that. Look at all those people at practice. So the reporters, they're not allowed to see any football up until like April 8th. But look, you see all those people in the back? I got friends, all right? Guys look good. Nick Kelly of AL.com just tweeted out that Mike Tomlin in the house here in Tuscaloosa for the NFL Combine. You got rid of Najee Harris, and that's good for Najee Harris because Najee Harris needed to go somewhere else. I love Najee Harris. I feel him at Pittsburgh wasn't it. I feel that, I think Najee still has a high ceiling in the NFL. I think he's going to do really well for the Chargers. Well, let me rewind this clip real quick. I'm about to go on my main segment talking to, hey, Southern Red, what's up? I appreciate you becoming a fan funder. This right here is Justin Hill. And when we talk about the fluidity of an athlete, he's coming up, number 8, okay? Watch how he moves, okay? Number 8. Look at this. That's 250 pounds at 6'4". These are the type of guys that are coming in, okay? Love to see it. Love to see it. Guys looking good. This is Quay Rusa, right? Another guy who should absolutely be a star here in Tuscaloosa for another positive year. Southern Red has became a level 1 fan funder. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Before I get to my main segment, talking about Ryan Williams in the slot, how I think Alabama can utilize him this season. Ways to support Bama football on YouTube. You can become a fan funder. Just hit the member join button. I'm an independent contract creator here on Bama football on YouTube. You can hit me up with a tip. Bama YouTube on Venmo, Cash App as well. But you just being here is enough, and I appreciate you guys. But your support definitely goes a long way. So I appreciate you guys continuing to support the product right here on Bama football on YouTube. So yesterday we heard from Coach Kalen DeBoer, and he was talking about how they could utilize Ryan Williams and the different players at the slot position or wide receivers. And he talked a lot about starting points for each of these guys. What starting point means to me is where does the guy initially fit in as a wide receiver? Okay. So the thing to remember is you have different receiver types, right? You have the bigger wide receivers on the outside. You have the slot or the ultra dynamic guys that you could put in the slot. Ryan Williams, he's not small, okay? I think sometimes people get caught up on his weight. The guy's 190 pounds, right? Devontae Smith was a slim reaper at like 155 pounds. Don't worry about that. Ryan Williams is not a small individual at all, right? 6'1", 190 pounds, one of the fastest players, the playmaking ability. I don't have to say anything else about Ryan Williams, okay? What I'm saying is when you have these are going to be, these are my projected starters. Nobody, I haven't seen this out anywhere. They practiced 4 times. I can tell you that Isaiah Horton didn't come here to ride the pine, okay? He was going to be Miami's best wide receiver. He didn't come here to play backup to anybody. This is Jeremy Bernard. He could have gone to the NFL. He came back, okay? How are they going to utilize these guys? Well, these are going to be your starters, and I'm going to show you how I think they could utilize them, and these are the guys behind. Of course, you have Derek Meadows, you have Bubba Hampton. There might be another wide receiver that I didn't add here. No disrespect. These are just the other wide receivers that I'm hearing more about. I have no idea how they're going to get Jalen Mbakwe on the field, and most of these guys are the same size. They're all about 6'1", 190 pounds. That's the same. That's the size of Bach. Rico Scott, Cole Adams a little bit smaller. Jalen Hell, he's the same size as Rico and Mbakwe. And then Lazier Brooks is a little bit shorter, but ultra dynamic, right? And then you have, I think Derek Meadows is the one wide receiver that's taller than anybody. Jay Williams, yeah, you point out a lot of players didn't come to Alabama to be backups. But guess what? Now, hey, you didn't play me. You didn't like me. I'm leaving somewhere else. That used to be called development. Sit down, learn the game, wait your turn, then you get on the field. Now, coach didn't play me. He don't like me. Well, guess what? You're not better than Ryan Williams, son. You're not better than Isaiah Horton. He's taller than you. He's stronger than you. He caught 50 passes at Miami. He's better than you. Shut your mouth, get back to practice, and when we call on you to perform, catch the damn ball and put it in the end zone. You can't coach like that anymore. Coach is mad at me. He don't like me. I'm not getting my NIL deal. I'm out of here. That's the truth. Truth hurts, right? So what I'm thinking about when I look at tape, when I look at film, I'm like, well, how is Alabama going to utilize a lot their main three? And when I look kind of the film from last year, I'll put this full screen, okay? I would imagine that things could look like this in some sort of fashion. I don't know if they'll put Horton up on the side to be on the back end by himself, but with a 6'4" wide receiver, this is how I would do it, all right? You put Ryan Williams in the slot right here. You put him alone. He's going to cause headaches. You do not want this guy to be in the slot. Yesterday, when the world of college football figured out finally that Ryan Williams is going to be a slot, the question is, can this guy get the ball to Williams at the slot position? If they figure out that, because people don't realize how good Jeremy Bernard is. This is a problem. This will be one of the best trios in college football. I love this little pattern right here. You could do a lot of things with Ryan Williams in the slot position. This guy is going to get absolutely cooked. Okay, let's look at another setup. Against Wisconsin, I didn't see this a lot, but Alabama went a trio set with 3 wide receivers up at the top. This is something that they could do potentially, right? Now, on the bottom side right here, this is C.J. Dupree. So theoretically, in this situation, you would put Josh Cuevas here. Okay, this is a very dangerous setup as well. Okay, you could either have him chip block, and come out. That's a very dangerous setup as well. Looking at 2023 Washington, they ran a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, and they also had a tight end who caught for around 40 balls that year as well. Okay, what I'm thinking is you could put Horton down here, you could put Williams here. Basically similar stuff that we are seeing this last year. The hope is that you have a quarterback that has, better accuracy within 20 yards to get the football to some of these guys. Now, this is Ryan Grubb at his best. So what they did right here is they put this guy is their slot wide receiver, and they put a bigger wide receiver right here to block. This guy comes out, he blocks this corner. This guy gets a block on him. This guy is basically out of position, and this particular player right here is Ryan Williams. This is Polk for Washington. He caught for over 60 passes. He caught the pass right here, and I think he ran for like 30 yards. This is called creativity within schematics and using your players to the best of your ability, right? I want Ryan Williams to catch the football a lot from 15 yards in. Like, he needs the ball in this space. You let him do this, like, just get him the football and he can do the rest, okay? Now, this is really exciting. I saw this just a couple times, and I know Christian was talking about this earlier on in the show, talking about the Washington versus Oregon game. Now, Alabama last year, when they went 5 wide, they used a tight end and a running back. Now, I am not saying go 5 wide all the time and forget about the running backs, right? You can't. The running backs are going to make this offense work, okay? But there's going to be times during the actual, down and distance of games, or you just need big plays. I don't know, whatever you do, you might run into some 5 wide receiver sets that you need, okay? So looking at this game last year, here's what 2023, here's what Washington under Ryan Grubb did. Now, I'm just putting wide receivers out there. You guys can put your own wide receivers here. We can figure out, we could take Josh Cuevas out and put another wide receiver. But they put Josh Cuevas here at the tight end position. You could put Jeremy Bernard up here by Horton, which is absolutely dangerous. And then you could put Ryan Williams right here, and you could put Lazier Brooks down here at the bottom side. How you defend something like this, I don't know. And think about trying to D up these guys down here just by themselves. So this actually turned into a touchdown for Washington. And when you go to the wide side view, you can't see the far side wide receiver over here to the left, but the touchdown happens right here. And you have Michael Penix Jr., who's able to throw a really crisp and accurate football to the top wide receiver right here. That would be Ryan Williams. And then you have Lazier Brooks kind of sitting in this zone. and catch a football, make somebody miss. So I like that setup. I don't know if Alabama this year will come out in any 5 wide receiver sets. If they do, they have plenty of wide receivers to do it. It's a dangerous combo. I can't even imagine having to deal with Ryan Williams and Lazier Brooks over there on the right side. Now, how do you keep all of the guys fed and at the same time have some sort of balance with the running back room? I don't know. I'm not an offensive coordinator. That's up to Ryan Grubb to figure out. But if they do have a right tackle that can protect for 3 seconds, if they do figure out, a quarterback that can be accurate, this offense should be prolific. They have all the pieces. I would be disappointed. I would be upset if this offense is not scoring 40 points a game, 45 points a game this season. The defense, they're going to do their thing, and we'll have another video talking about schematics with defense and all the guys coming up, and we'll put, players on the board and stuff like that. But in terms of what the offense has, this is probably the most excited that I've been about the offense. And a lot has to do with just Ryan Grubb, not even the quarterback. I think whichever quarterback takes over, I think we take a step forward in that department. But I think that Ryan Grubb is the common denominator and was the missing link for Coach Kalen DeBoer, and probably was the missing link for Ryan Grubb when he left. Those guys might just have to stick together like Bert and Ernie until the wheels fall off. And that's fine, because everywhere they've gone, they've been very successful. So you become Bert and Ernie, that's fine. Am I making sense out there? Am I clear to you? Picture me rolling. But when I was looking at it, man, I was like, geez, the weapons that you have, and just hearing Coach Kalen DeBoer, and you know what? The biggest thing that Coach Kalen DeBoer said yesterday that stood out to me on the press conference was the fact that the coaches were already here, all of them. Even Chuck Milroe was here. He was coaching the linebackers, and that Jason Jones has continuity with Kane Womack because they've coached together before, right? So then the only guy that they've really had to bring in as a new addition is Ryan Grubb. Ryan Grubb isn't coming here and getting caught up to speed. The only thing he's getting caught up to speed on is like the same thing that we're learning, the new roster and understanding like new guys. That doesn't take long. It takes like a week, maybe less. He's adding to the roster. He's adding to the coaching staff. The biggest upgrade, I think, in college football from an offensive coordinator standpoint was Alabama leveling up to get Ryan Grubb. You take a step forward at quarterback. You take a step forward at offensive. Your offensive coordinator. Things are looking up. The schedule's hard to sell. I get it. I'm worried about it. I'm worried about the first game. The first game scares me to death. I'll pick Alabama. They should go in there. I think it's at 9.5 right now, Alabama to beat Florida State. It's going to be challenging for a million different reasons. But I think one of the main reasons is that the game is in Florida State. In Florida State, that's like their Super Bowl game. Alabama's still a Super Bowl for everybody. While people think they might be able to go toe-to-toe with Alabama because of whatever, it's still the Super Bowl for you. And I wouldn't get too excited about Alabama coming to your hometown or anything like that with, these weapons that they have. Nobody's happy about the blitzkrieg coming in. Fast, up-tempo. What did Coach here's a trivia for you. What word did Ryan Grubb say when they asked him about his offensive style? Sound off inside the comment box. What word did he say? What adjective did he say? Ryan Grubb, how would you describe your offensive style? Does anybody know? That's the quiz. That's the easy answer. Thank you. Matt Dunn got it right. Matt Dunn, You passed the test today. He said aggressive. That's what we need. We need an aggressive offense. You need to put points on the board. You need to be able to dominate from the jump and instill that fear. And once I think when people start to see Alabama's offense start rolling, I think that fear will get put back into people. It won't take long. Right now, there's kind of this misconception that things have completely fallen off at Alabama. A lot of that was disheartening. But now that we continue to dive into it and I start to look more into a microscope at Alabama and the different components that they have and listening to what Coach Kalen DeBoer has been saying and about the new staff, and I get happy just thinking about comparing year to year. How did you feel on March 19th? Go back and watch some of our shows from March 19th. We were freaked out. Some of us were happy. But you had to lay a lot of track work. And they did lay that track work. So that's where we're at. And my show's going to be a little bit shorter today because I am watching the NFL Combine on SEC Network. You can tune in. You can watch it yourself. But as major news happens, of course, I'll be back. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Live every single day at 10 a.m. Central Time. I've been coming on in the evening too. So if you see me posted up in the evening time, like 7 p.m., 7:30, a lot depends on, what I got here, my family space. But that seems to be a time that I'm able to pop back on for a 30-minute show or whatever. Rich B's asking about Florida State's quarterback. Yeah, Daniel Costello. That's the quarterback that they got. And then the other guy that they have behind him is they also have they got Deuce Robinson, they got another wide receiver, and they got Gus Malzahn, who's their offensive coordinator. Matt points out, he's like, I think the best part about Grubb coming to Bama is his style of complementary football. Yeah, I love that, man. I mean, that guy has proven what we need to see. And I can't even, I bet you he feels like a kid in a candy store having all this talent. Figure out the offensive line, you'll be straight. Hey, Herman, I appreciate it, bro. I thought today was good. Right to the point, nice, good graphics, solid feedback inside the comment box. I appreciate you guys. West Coast, and be safe, man, on that high-speed train. We know you're out in Austria or wherever, living it up for us. Wade's World, appreciate you, man. Wade's World, party time. You guys enjoy the rest of your beautiful day. Check out that NFL Combine, the pro day at Alabama on SEC. You can watch it right now. Thanks for being here. I love you. I appreciate you guys. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this fine Wednesday, March 19th. Kyle Henderson.